All right, we're going over the Japanese build orders that I find are essential if you want to get started with this pantheon. So, when we're looking at the three different major god choices, Amaterasu's got some unique ones, and primarily it's because he gets gold every second as part of her Bushido bonus, and she's got this upgrade here, which gives you a free Miko without having to build it from the town center. So it changes up the build orders for her. But for the other two, the build orders are more or less interchangeable. So the first build order I'm going to go over here is where you get 3 Mikos out in the arcade gauge. And this kind of build order is good if you're playing against someone where you don't feel threatened early on. So that could be like maybe Hades, or it could be Nua, could be versus Gaia or Thor. And this build order, yeah, I recommend it when you're feeling all right early on. You don't feel like you should be threatened or anything. So the difficulty is in the very, very, very early stages of the build order. We want to put a villager onto gold, wood, and food all at the same time. So usually what I'll do is I'll put the waypoint on the gold mine and immediately queue up a Miko. And then I'm gonna take a villager over onto food, villager to wood, and one to gold. And then I'm gonna be looking for a nice spot for my Miko. Let's just do here, looks alright. And I don't know, this one looks okay too, but let's just say there's no shame in moving your Miko out, trying to scout for a good shrine location. So that's what I'm doing right here. I can even use my Kitsune to help out in this endeavor as well. What we're looking for is food and gold, and if located next to a wood line, that's perfect. This is not really close enough. It's not a great shrine at all. Anyways, one villager on each resource, and then just auto-queuing villagers to food. So like I said, it's the initial phase that's difficult. After that, it gets alright. So here, we found a gold mine, and there's a wood line nearby, so we'll place it right there. The small forest, so it's not the best shrine in the world, but it is what it is. And you see now, 90 wood, 90 gold. We're slowly inching towards 150 on both gold and wood. And of course, we're gonna be building a temple with all those resources. So we're just queuing villagers onto food. And we're doing scouting and all kinds of stuff. 006 on the low end for a shrine. 009, definitely a good one. So the large gold mine helps out a ton in getting a little extra favor here. As I mentioned in the beginning, we want 3 Mikos. So already now I will start to also consider where do we place our third shrine? I'll be putting 8 villagers on food, and yeah, haven't really found a perfect spot for the third shrine just yet. The third shrine, maybe there'll be something up here. Something to look out for. 8 on food, and then the next one will be going on to wood. And we can use our initial Miko, who's at home, to build a temple right here. So that's 1 extra on wood, and then the rest of the villagers are going on to gold. And up here is a really sick third shrine. Usually you should have no issue finding a good third shrine. We've had so much time to scout that it shouldn't be an issue. When this villager comes out, we're looking for 50 wood, and then we're gonna use both of them to build the house and then shift click over onto gold. We're adding 1 extra villager and then a Miko. And then after that, hopefully we have the resources to advance. We should have that quite easily. Third Miko, we found the spot up here, so let's go up there. And then we will advance. I think Inari Okami is the god of choice here. Swampland is an amazing god power, and this one works on our horses. So we love Inari Okami here. And this is the time where we want to reroute our villagers. So generally, I like to have 4 on wood, 4 on gold, and rest on food. So let's do that. Drop our resources, shift click over onto wood, and same with gold. This miko up here, we're going to be building a shrine. And so long as the shrine indicator just touches the gold mine, that'll be good enough. So whether we place it here or here, doesn't really matter for the gold mine. I should place it here. Get the tree. Don't think it matters too much, but every little bit matters, right? That's 5 on food, 4 on wood, 4 on gold. We're going to be making 2 stables immediately. Maybe the second one is going to be slightly delayed, but the goal is to get a very nice horse spam going. We want to start raiding, and we want to start using Kusanagi, use our mobility, and really get some really nice skirmishes going. And if we're playing Tsukuyomi, it's exactly the same. We want to do the exact same start. We want to do Inari, Okami. It's a really good start. See, like I said, you're just missing that 5 wood. There we go. With our myth units, we're not doing too much right now. I find that the Jorogumo is too slow to really play aggressively with. So I'm just using her for protection. She can go over here to our secondary hunt now. We have 6 on food now. And now we're going to be sending villagers over onto gold. Build houses as well, and I'm queuing up pickaxe. Even put her on patrol. Okay, so I got this little group here. This is fine for raiding. If you want to, feel free to add a new kitsune here for an additional little raiding group. I may have gotten pickaxe a little too early because I don't have a house right now. Yeah, it's an issue. But the point here is just to show off the build order, not to play optimally. So we're raiding now, finding this here, and don't be afraid to just use Kitsune nice and, or Kusanagi nice and early. This was a complete whiff, by the way. Imagine that you didn't see that. But yeah, don't be afraid to just use Kusanagi. And same with Swampland actually early on. If you use it early on, then every new instance of Kusanagi that you use makes the second use of Swampland cheaper. So just, yeah, that's definitely my recommendation with Susanoo. Don't be afraid to just use those god powers. Obviously, there's only 1 military unit here, and that's never worth, but you know, 4, 5, 6 military units. That's what it takes to win this little skirmish, and then we get the raid off. Absolutely fine. Because then the next time we use Kusanagi, it's going to go down to 75. From there, it's going to go down to 57 or whatever the calculation is. Anyways, this is the 3 Miko start in Archaic Age, and I think it's really strong. What I like to do generally is maybe stop at 8 Cavalry, and then look to go Heroic Age. It all depends on how the game is going. But if you can get a nice early Heroic Age, that's super good. With Susanoo, that means that you can get your 3rd age god power. Use it nice and early, because once again, if you do that, and then you follow up with the other 2 god powers, you're gonna make that 3rd god power even cheaper. So, and then with Tsukuyomi, it's the same concept. You want to do like 8, 10 raiders in a classical age, and then you want to go heroic. You want to use New Moon on the armory. You want to get your Shogun out, and then you can spam horse archers. And I recommend doing it with this build order. I think it's super strong. Of course, right now my economy is geared towards spamming horses. So around this time, I've been yabbing. I haven't produced as many horses as I should have. But around this time would be a good time to, let's just say that we build 4 additional horses. We can take some of these guys off of gold and then put them over onto berries instead. And then with our wood choppers, we're going to be building an armory. So now our economy is really geared towards going to the heroic age. 14 on food, 3 on gold, but we only need 100 extra gold. So yeah, it's really heavily geared towards going to the heroic age. If you're really desperate, nice little trick you can do is to send a goat over onto your wood line, because this works as a food and wood deposit. Right now we don't need any more wood. Just really desperately need extra food for heroic age. We can just go on to this thing. We can even shift click over onto wood just so that we don't forget it later on. Like I said, I've been yabbing, so I've lost, I think, 4 horses over here. I built 4 additional horses here. But you see, if I had the other 4 still around, I would go back to my mikos, heal them up, and consistently apply pressure to my opponent. When you're raiding your opponent, they're much less likely to apply pressure to you. So actually, even just now, we'll go raging. When you click heroic age here, depends on which god you're playing. With Susanoo, you want a hell of a lot on gold. Actually, put all these with the Tsukuyomi, you want a lot more on wood. With Tsukuyomi, you want something like almost 2-to-1 ratio of wood to gold, and then even just 3 on food or something like that, because you're going to be spamming pure horse archers. With Susanoo, it's a different story. We've got Bushido tier 1. Soon we're going to hit Bushido tier 2. In a real game, we'd probably have hit it by now. So 86 favor currently would have an additional 60 from Bushido tier 2. Or is it 75? Something ridiculous like that. And another thing you can really do if you're really feeling it is get a second temple. Because by the time we hit Rage in here, we will, like I said, we'll have so much favor. And we can just really start our Reiju spammage. Because that's the best thing you've got. It's the best unit you've got as Susanoo. And you have so much favor to play around with. I definitely recommend doing that. The issue is, we want this upgrade. We want this upgrade. We want this upgrade. And that's a lot of favor in and of itself. 22, 37, 57 favor just for the technologies. And it also takes time to research these. So this is why I recommend sometimes you even want 2 temples. Maybe let's actually go and pick a fight just so you can see how much favor we're going to get here. Oh yeah, and then what units are you actually building with Susanoo here? Honestly, I don't think it matters too much. The core, what matters most is that you have Reijus in your army. I think horse archers are good. You can use them to target down enemy heroes. But also samurais are good. Any units, honestly. What matters most is just that you got the Reiju in. These units are so crazy. Boom. And there we go. That's our Bushido tier 2. Goes so fast when you're raiding with the wolves here. They get a lot of Bushido XP for you. You see here? I've queued up 4 wolves now. I can queue up a 5th here in no time. Don't have the gold for it. But you get so much favor with Susanoo, as you can see. Even though I invested so much into the technologies, I can still queue up 5 more Reiju after that. So, yeah, that's Susanoo. And with Tsukuyomi, the build order is the same. The concept is the same. But when you hit Heroic Age, the big goal that you want is you get these upgrades manually, and then you use New Moon to get all 4 upgrades plus the Hachiman upgrade. Alright, next build order I'm going to show you is also for Tsukuyomi and Susanoo. Like I said, these have very similar build orders. So if you feel that you're getting rushed, let's say you're playing against an Odin player. Odin player very likely to try to want to abuse your early game because it's so weak. So let's do a build order that counters that. Once again, we're queuing just villagers this time, but queuing onto the gold mine and immediately doing like this. And this is a good shrine right here. So we're looking for an early temple here. That means we need a lot of gold early on. But at the same time, if we have 2 on gold the entire time, we're going to be getting so much gold that we don't need later on. When we can afford the temple, we don't want 2 gold choppers and gold miners anymore. So we're waiting for these 2 to get to 110, and then we're going to swap one of them over onto the wood line. We're just queuing villagers to food, by the way. So this start is just 1 miko. We cannot afford more than that because we fear we're being rushed and we want to get out a nice classical age advance and we want to get production going nice and early. Getting the mikos out is way too expensive if we want to manage to do that still. You see here, resources, gold and wood, very, very similar now, which means that we're going to get to our temple timing at a really good pace. And we're looking for 7 on hunt here. 7 on hunt is fine. He trolled me here. And we can get the temple now, so let's just use the gold miner for it. You can also use the miko if you like. In fact, let's do that. Could have used the miko. It takes 40 seconds to build a temple, and you get about 1 gold per second. Well, 0.85 per second. So if you use our miko to build the temple, that means we're going to have 40 extra gold to play with, which can be extremely important when you're doing a build like this. So 7 on food, and then the rest we're putting over onto, well, actually 1 over onto wood, and then the rest onto gold. And then after this villager, we want to advance, which we should be able to. We'll just turn off auto queue here just to ensure that we get there. And we go off through, once again, Inari Okami. Let's put 2 extra on wood, 1 extra on gold. And if you want to, you can get a kitsune here as well. It's a nice little addition. Can be very useful. Build an additional house here. Make sure to put auto queue back on. So of course, your defense from here depends on which civilization you're against. If you're versus Kronos, they'll be on your ass already with Prometheans. So you really gotta use your Miko in a smart way here. If I was actually versus a Kronos player here, I would probably be walling off like this. Force them to use Deconstruct on the temple or whatever. If it's just versus Norse, I would play like I'm doing here. And then, you see already now, I've got the wood, I've got the gold, I have 2 kitsune out. Build a stable, build a dojo. Good time to get a second Miko out as well. Say that you're being rushed. Maybe they have purses on your ass right now. Try to get these guys back. Maybe they're really aggressive, they use forest fire or something like that. I have to relocate over here. We're getting Horse Rider from here, and we really want an Onamusha from here. They're so expensive though, 130 food. I have to force drop for it. There it is. Maybe you can just go, you know, if you're being rushed, this Miko would be used for healing, for attacking myth units and so on. But nevertheless, you see here, we've got a really nice defense established right here. Got the 2 Kitsune, got the Spider. We have the Onamusha out nice and early. And we even have 2 Mikos to defend ourselves. So, That's the anti-rush build order right here. Use it with Tsukuyomi as well, and it's exactly the same. So let's actually try a 2 TC build here. Say that we're playing on the map Elfheim and we're against Nuwa, very boomy god. And usually they want to do a 2 TC boom, so let's showcase how that's going to be played. Very, very similar to the last one I showed you. We're starting off exactly like last time. And it's super, super similar. The big difference is what we're doing sometime later in the build. But for now, we're looking for that 110 on gold, and then we're going to swap over onto wood. Otherwise, we're just spamming villagers to food right here. I've been playing Susanoo all these games that I've showcased so far, but like I said, you can definitely just do all this with Tsukuyomi just as well. You also notice how I'm continually microing my villagers so that the deer or the elks are right next to my watermill. I think that's really important to do. Maximize your efficiency in the K gauge, especially when doing tight build orders, such as a 2 TC build as I'm doing here. It's really, really nice to be efficient because it means that your second TC is going to come out that much sooner, and that means that you're going to be producing additional villagers from the new TC once again sooner. Oops. That was inefficient. Definitely using the miko to build the TC here because we need all the wood and gold that we can get. So just waiting for it to be there. There we go. That's 7 on food. We don't need any more than that. I'm gonna start putting over onto gold instead. Seven on food right here is all we need. So we're just starting to stockpile all the gold we can get here. It is important to know that Japan is really weak early on. And if you're being pressured by Zeus, Double Heroes, Minotaur, and you're doing a 2 TC build, you're gonna get stopped. So this kind of build that I'm doing here, the 2 TC build, you need to know your enemy, and you need to know that you can get away with it. So it's like versus Nuwa, versus Thor, versus Gaia. Not even sure Gaia, but you get the point. You need to know that you're safe to do what it is you're doing here. So after this villager, we're gonna be heading to next stage. And let's go for Minakata Tomi here. That's going to give us the Shrine of the Hunt, which is really nice because that's extra hunt. We're booming, which means it's going to be harder to get outside of our base for food. So having the additional food from this god power is going to be really, really nice. So now we take 6 villagers. And we're putting them over onto wood. These water mills only cost 25 wood. So instead of going back to this watermill, which is already established, we're just going to build one next to where we are already to minimize walking time. Bit inefficient on this gold mine. Should have done this a bit earlier, but whatever. You see, we have 7 on wood, 5 on gold. We need 350 of each to get the town center. So you see, we're probably going to get the gold sooner than the wood. And that means that around the time when this goes to 2,550, we can drop our resources in and move over here. But I think if I do that already now, not sure if I'll have the wood for it. We'll see. It's nice to move your villagers before you have the resources because that means that you're gonna have them ready when you need them. That's 7 villagers onto the TC, and we need a lot of food right now. Need food to sustain villager production from this TC. And we need food for this TC eventually. So right now we only have 2 on wood and the rest is on food. I think we can start sending over to gold here. Oh, and also, immediately when you hit Classical Age, you need to use Shrine of the Hunt. The Shrine of the Hunt is going to continually make deer pop up, which means that you can have 4 villagers hunting deer, and it's never going to be depleted if you have 4 villagers on it. Right now there's 5 here, so I'm actually going to take one of them over onto wood instead, and this is just going to be a permanent source of food for 4 villagers. And over here, we got hunt right here. It's not always that you can actually get away with hunting like this, but we can probably do it here. So now you can either go for economic upgrades, you want saltwater spring, you want hand axe, you want pickaxe, you even want husbandry. But, other times you would want to get a stable down first, even a dojo, guardhouse, whatever. Sometimes you want units, other times you want economic upgrades. It all depends on how the game is going at this stage, but I've got you started right here. 2 town centers, continual villager production, and you can start making your Naginata riders or whatever you want here. Alright, that's a 2 TC boom. Alright, full disclosure. I've played a lot of Susanoo, played a lot of Tsukuyomi, haven't played much Amaterasu, so instead of me telling you a subpar build order that I use, let's actually look at one of the greats. We're looking at Kavoth here, playing as Amaterasu. And he is going, I suspect it's a lot of villagers early over onto food. And he's just going to be placing his shrine right here, in range of the gold mine, and in range of as many trees as possible. And since I'm not doing the build order here, I can talk a bit about Amaterasu. She's a lot simpler than the other 2 to play, I think. Generally speaking, you just want to stay 1 TC, pretty much all matchup. Kind of crazy. And you almost always want to go for the Weasel God, Aminu Uzumi, or whatever her name is. And yeah, like I said, it's just a lot simpler to play Amaterasu. So 1 build order is going to get you very far. You need to go 1 TC, you need a lot of samurais. Sometimes you need Naginata riders. But a lot of the time, it's just the same thing that you do, and you can get a lot of success with it. He builds 4 onto food, and then he sends 2 over onto wood. I'm a bit surprised by this. Maybe because he won't... Yeah, we'll see where he goes with it, actually. With Amaterasu, of course, you have the gold trickle, so you need a gold miner eventually, otherwise you're going to be advancing too late, but you can delay it by quite a bit. And also we see Kavoth pre-queuing Kagura. Really, really good really good technology. It saves you so much time. Usually, a miko takes 12 seconds of TC time to produce. But with miko, you don't have to use 12 seconds of TC time to do it. You get it from the shrine. Such a good economic boost. And yeah, it's really, really sick. So he's sending 7 on food now. That's 4 on food, 2 on wood, and now 7 on food in total. And there goes the villager onto the gold mine. Kagura is almost in now. So the reason we saw 2 on wood early on is because the Miko that's going to be coming out right here, he's going to want to build a shrine with her, I imagine. Yeah, we see him moving over here. It's a nice shrine. You want to look, when you build your shrines, you want to basically look for food or gold with a wood line nearby. That's come to be my rule, and this is a really good one. I think it's going to be like a 0.1 favor per second. Very, very good. There goes the 8th villager over onto food. I think honestly from here on out, whatever you do with your villagers, you can do pretty much what you like. If you want more in wood, that's totally fine. I think you've put yourself in a spot where you're getting all the resources that you need. So the temple is going to be able to be placed right now. Let's see what Kavoth does. Builds it with the Miko. just to minimize idle villager time.
なんだ
Could use the gold miner to help out here a bit, because it's getting a bit of a late
準備でき
advance.
た
But
よ
you know, if you want a faster advance, just use your gold
何
miner as well.
指示ある
Even use some of those food villagers if they're nearby, anyways.
準備できたよ
But you see the concept here: 4 on food, 2 on wood, 7 on food, and then 1 on gold. That'll get you 4. If you want the temple up a little earlier, just put 6 on food and then the gold miner.
なんだ
But you saw it was gold that Kvoth was missing before this temple went up. And now this village is going to be finished, and we'll be looking at a 437 advance. So I mentioned with Amaterasu, you want samurais and sometimes Naginata riders. Right now,
何
Kvoth
なんだ
is macroing his economy towards... Whoa, a 2 TC boom.
な
Interesting.
んだ
Very interesting. He's
準
only
備
got
でき
3
た
on
よ
food. I imagine this is a 2 TC boom, right? 7 on wood,
準備
5 on
完了
gold. Wow, what is this? What is Kavoth doing? Either way, he's actually getting the relic
指示ある
upgrade, so you can get this relic over here.
何
Sick,
Nani?
sick micro here from Kavoth. Really sick. Even garrisoning in and out. This kitsune is stuck. Oh, look at this. Man, how good at the game is Kavoth?
なんだ何
I'm really surprised by what he's doing here. He's got 400 on wood. What the heck is he doing? He hits the classical age,
指示は
uses the
準備で
Gushinboku,
きたよ
not producing a second beaver, weasel,
何
and he's going up here. I guess it is a 2 TC boom. I think he missed macro, to be honest. He needed an additional villager on gold instead of wood here. Either way,
準備できたよ
bruh, Kavoth, what are you doing? Now he's getting a dojo? He's freestyling. Kavoth is freestyling.
準備完了
Here, using the solar shield on the
なん
Kamitachi.
だ
He's getting 2 dojos out. Guys, this is what I said. Amaterasu, you can do pretty much anything early on. It doesn't matter too much.
何
Like, this is so suboptimal what Kvoth has done here. You saw the initial beginning, that's what matters most. And then whatever you do from there on out is absolutely fine.
指示ある
So,
従います
yeah, what is there to say? He's floating so much wood and gold right now. Because he wanted a 2 TC boom, I guess, but then he got a better idea. He didn't want to do it. This is a villager here. Got from Crackhack.
指示を何でしょう
But yeah, that's the Amaterasu build. Definitely don't do what Kvoth did here with its macro as he advanced. What I think you should do instead is have, I think, 3 or 4 on wood. And I want maybe... Actually 3 on wood, 4 on gold, rest on food. Because you look at the samurai cost here, it's 105 food and 75 gold. Gonna need a lot of gold, and all you need is 2 dojos. These things also cost gold, by the way. So yeah, you're definitely gonna need a lot of gold. You're getting the free trickle from Amaterasu, but it's not enough. Also, you want the beaver upgrade, costs food. You want a second beaver out as well. So yeah, that's what I recommend. 3 on wood, 4 on gold, rest on food. And then you just build 2 dojos, get the beaver upgrade, and spam samurais and beavers.